boys and girls. Today in first grade, we are going to be doing a self-portrait in the style of an artist called Modigliani. Now, this artist was different because they didn't just use regular kind of self-portraits. They would do kind of weird things where the people kind of looked like aliens a little bit. Imagine your head got stretched out and your neck got really long. Not like giraffe long, but a little bit. So we're gonna be doing a couple things with our paper today to make sure that we get our proportions right for this style of artwork. Now, one thing you're gonna be doing, I recommend, is folding your paper when you get it, kind of like when you make a card or a book. Just one fold across, just like that, okay? Now, after you get that fold, you're gonna fold it one more time the same direction. So when you open it up and you turn it vertically, you're gonna be able to see one section here, 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 and here. That should be 4 different areas. Now, there's one more fold today, and it's going to be across. It's gonna be like that long hot dog fold we used to call. So it might be a little tricky after you've done your first folds, but you can do it. I know you. There it is. And now we have lots of little boxes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, your paper might wanna move around on you. You can just kind of smooth it down a little bit. As long as you can still see where your folds are, that's the most important part. So for a Modigliani, what we're gonna be doing is our head is gonna be up in these 2 sections here. And it's gonna be a very long and ovally shaped head. And the neck is going to be one whole section here. And the shoulders are gonna be the last section, and they're very slouchy. All of the portraits that this artist did are kind of looking like they're hanging off to the side, maybe a little bit sleepy. Maybe they had too much food at lunch and they want to take a nap at recess. And a lot of the times their heads are tilted a little bit. So for our first part, our head is going to be up here. Now, one thing when I did my example is I noticed when I got to coloring and using my oil pastel that my pencil later on got smudged. So Miss Hopkins is not going to use a pencil today because I don't want to get smudged later. But if you'd like to use a pencil, you can. Maybe don't press very hard. I'm gonna skip to the Sharpie. Now, if you are feeling confident, these lines are not very hard. You can do Sharpie with me. Just take your time. A lot of you guys have drawn with Sharpie before, so you know what to do. So this box, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the top 4 boxes where we're gonna be putting in our head. And it's very ovally, just like that, kind of like an egg. Then our neck is going to be in this section here. It's very long, goes all the way down to this last fold. Now our shoulders are very slouchy. But before we draw them, we're gonna draw like our shirt line, and we're gonna do a double line here. It's like our collar of our shirt. And we're gonna do our slouchy shoulders. They just go off to the edge. I told you, you're gonna be drawing kind of like an alien version of yourself. Now, the proportions on this face are different than what we've learned before. You're still gonna have the body parts you need, like a nose, eyes, and a mouth, and ears. If you want to show me both ears, you can just show me one ear. It's up to you. But you still need to have some hair. All those parts. Just basically you with a super long neck and slouchy shoulders. You're gonna look kind of lazy today. So I'm gonna start out with a nose, and for Modigliani style, you're gonna want to have a very long nose. So the line of our nose is super long. You guys don't have to use mirrors today because we're not gonna make it look exactly like you, because you probably don't have a nose that is that long. That's kind of crazy. unless some of you are Pinocchio, and I don't know that. Your eyes are still gonna go in the same place on both sides of your nose. You're not gonna put them down in your mouth or anything weird like that. But we're gonna do them small, little lemon shapes. Okay? You can do your circle for your color and a little black dot for your pupil. And you can make yourself looking however you want. Your eyebrows need to be thin for this style. And we're gonna do a mouth. The mouth has to be small and closed. So you can do it exactly like the lemon shape for our eyes, or you can do it the way I've taught you how to do mouths with like a bird shape on the top lip. And there you go, very simple. I'm gonna put an ear over here and an ear over here. And now we have nice little bald egg-shaped heads, but it's time for hair. My hair goes all the way down to my shoulders, so that's where I'm gonna be putting it. And I have some pieces that come in the front. And it's kind of wavy today. So I'm gonna make sure that I make my wavy lines all the way down to my shoulders. And I have more of it on the one side than the other side. Maybe one more wavy line in there. Okay. So that's my basic face. If you want to be including your eyelids, help you look very sleepy and relaxed, you can. I'm going to make sure that I do include my glasses, because that definitely makes it look more like Miss Hopkins. Okay. Now, for our Modiglianis, we're going to be a little bit different. We're going to make the backgrounds a little bit fancier, because at Hancock Creek, we take it up a couple notches. So your background is not going to be plain. You're going to have to think of a pattern, as well as for your shirt. So down here, you need to come up with like an idea. So for my collar, I think I'll do a zigzag. And then I want to find something different for this area here. I think I'll do some happy little polka dots on this one. And remember, when you're doing patterns, that they do repeat. I shouldn't just change it to something else now. If I decide I don't like polka dots, I shouldn't just start doing hearts. Trying to space them out. You guys have done patterns before. I only did a half polka dot up here. Remember, your patterns can go on the back side of your shirt, and you might not see the whole thing. So a half polka dot would be fine, or a half of a heart, whatever you're doing. Now, I also need to have a pattern in the background space as well. But before I do that, I need to make sure right on my shoulder is where I'm putting my name today. That might be a good stopping point for your class, depending on how much you guys are getting done. I always make sure on the back of the art that you can even put your name again if you really want to. I would just use a pencil so it doesn't bleed through. Just to make sure that whatever side the teacher's looking at, they know who it is. And you guys are in first grade, so make sure you do a number 1, a dash, and then the letter that your teacher has in their name. So if this is Miss Votro's class, that starts with the letter V. That is my code for this class. Now, if you guys have more time, then you're going to be finishing up your patterns. So I've already done some wavy lines in my hair. I don't think I want to do any more wavy lines. I think that my pattern in the background today, I will do some stripes. So I think I'll do some big stripes. And then each of those can be a different color. If I want, I might make them a little bit skinnier. Yeah, kind of liking this better. Don't want to go into my name. Oh yeah, there is my cool pattern background. So I've got a different pattern here, different pattern here and here. And now it's time to be adding some color. So we are going to be using the oil pastels for color. And you guys have probably seen these before. They come in that red box, okay? And we want to take care of them. So when you slide them in and out, make sure that you're making the top where it says 25. That's always the part that the pastel should be going into. That's the top of the box. Don't flip it around because somebody will pull it out backwards and they'll spill out all over the floor. So we'll use those pastels. For my well-behaved classes, you guys might even get to use the neon oil pastels. Ooh, so we'll see who gets to earn those. And you're gonna get to work on coloring. I recommend starting with a nice skin tone that you think matches your skin. So if you are very, very pale like me and you get sunburns easy, you're gonna start with like a peach kind of color or apricot. Now, oil pastel is really cool because you don't have to push very hard. In fact, I've got a paper towel here. I'm just going to color lightly, and I'm actually gonna leave some white space on my skin around my neck and cheeks. And I'm gonna use my paper towel with my finger inside, and I can blend it. And it spreads out the color so nicely. And I don't have to spend all day coloring and pressing really hard. It saves me a lot of work. Now, I don't want to get this color up in my eyeball, so I'm gonna have to be careful in there. So I'll be very careful when I do that area. My ear's made of skin too, so don't forget that. So maybe I'll just use my finger there, almost like you're finger painting way back in the days of preschool or kindergarten. And I think I'll just do my lips nice and pink. Now, boys and girls, oil pastel does get on your fingers, so you'll have to wash your hands. Please be nice with my pastels, okay? We are not going to be breaking them. If you can't handle them, you're going to be given crayons. If you can't handle crayons, you're probably not going to have any color at all. So make sure that you are using all of those materials nicely. One cool thing about pastels is if you remember, you can mix them. So when I'm picking in my yellowy blonde hair, it's not just pure yellow. I actually have some darker colors in it, so some darker yellow. And I even have some brown. And that cool thing about pastels is when you mix them, you could use your finger or the paper towel, the colors blend really nicely and you make new colors. So you can customize the colors however you want. You're going to be coloring the whole thing today. If something is supposed to be white, like the little tiny corners in your eyes, that's okay. If you wanted to leave maybe your polka dots white, that's okay. Now, if you're really awesome, your teacher might decide, okay, boys and girls, we're gonna do a little pastel on your background, but then I'll let you paint it, which is what I have done with this other finished example here. So this one is all done. There is no white space except for the pattern that is supposed to be white on my shirt down here and the whites in the eyes. Now, if you're finishing this one up and you have white space around maybe your patterns, like I did these flowers, I got to use some yellow watercolor paint back there. And so that was a fun addition. And if your classes are behaving and you have time, maybe that's something that you get to do. You'll have to earn it. Don't forget, this is your portrait still. So you want to include things like maybe your freckles, because I certainly have some in different spots. And there it is. There's Mrs. Hopkins in the Modigliani style, finished and ready to go home. I hope you guys enjoy this project, and I hope your necks don't hurt too much from being stretched out. Bye!